Chaos, the series. Chapter 12. The Cure. Now. The time has come. Aaron and the others make their way to the DEDHQ, but Aaron says he's got a plan for them and tells them to start without him till he comes back. Ian asks why, but Aaron responds with, "It's a surprise and he trusts him to give the DED the fight of their lives." He agrees and they begin the assault, quickly breaking their defenses as Aaron heads off towards Ground Zero. Ian and the others continue to fight the DED and begin to get the upper hand until the commander shows up telling to meet his children out of nowhere. 3 defected spring from the ground, kicking each of them away from each other as they try and fight. They are quickly and constantly overpowered. Ian contacts Aaron and tells him to hurry because they can't do this alone. Aaron tells him to hang on at least 5 minutes. He says he doesn't know if they can, but he'll try. Ian grabs the defected and throws him into the others and heads over to help Sarah. She pushes him out the way, charging at the commander, screaming she'll kill him, but she's pushed back by the defected. Meanwhile, Aaron makes it to Ground Zero but is nervous to see if he can actually communicate with infected humans, but before he can do so, Marshall arrives, but not to fight. He explains who he truly is, not the original, but a clone with implanted memories of both him and Marshall. Confused, Aaron asks why he looks like him. He said his DNA is both the DED commander and Marshall's, making him this son and Hope's brother. Shocked, Aaron tells him that he can be more than his puppet. He then tells him that it's not so simple and that he doesn't want to disappoint his father. Aaron angrily explains to him what type of father he has and that they have a lot in common when it comes to having evil fathers, and he tearfully explains that his father tried to kill him and tortured him at a young age, triggering his powers. Marshall tells him that he does understand after all, and that anger gives people like him reason to live above all conventional means. Aaron tells him he's wrong and that it's not the answer take lives of people, make them worse than anything, but if there's peace, everyone can be happy once and for all. Marshall snickers and says if he really believes that he tasks him, why does he see good in him that he only looks like his brothers? He's just a simple clone. Aaron explains whether he's a clone or not, he has a choice to live as he wants, not by what others tell him to. With a smile, Marshall asks if he could still consider a mistake, like him a brother of any kind. Without a second thought, Aaron offers his hand in friendship and tells him if he has Marshall's memories, he should already know. He doesn't even care, but says if he's ready for a change, then they can start now. The two shake hands and Aaron tells him to help him, which he agrees, and shows him the one power that even the DED feared he'd use, and that's control infected. In the blink of an eye, he puts an army of infected under his command and exclaims time. For the fight of a lifetime. They hear explosions in the distant. Marshall tell him to go and help the others, and before he rushes off, he tells if he's a new man, then he needs a new name, and calls him Mar. With a smile and at Aaron's side, they rush off to help the others while they have been beaten badly. Ian tries to protect Hope and Sarah. He continues to fight, but with no success, the commander tells his kids to stop and walks over to Ian. Struggling to stand, he tells him fuck him for what he's done to his family. He replies, saying, what he's done is create a world where freaks like him and his so-called family no longer exists, and tells him he made his own daughter betray him, and angrily punches Ian in a wall. Hope begs her father to stop, but gets kicked in the face. The defected grabs her and tells her to watch his suffering. Hope watches in horror as Ian gets beaten and Sarah remains unconscious. The commander stomps on Ian and prepares to kill him, but asks if he has any requests. In the distance he hears a yes and gets blasted through the wall by Aaron. He and Mar help the others, but get cornered by the defected. They target Aaron, but Mar stops them, telling Aaron to get the others somewhere safe while he deals with them. Fighting back tears, he tells them that he loves them and wants them to join him. They refuse and attack simultaneously and slice him. They tell him he betrayed them and their father, and question why they should let him live. With his reply, they should know the torture they all went through and the fact they want to still fight. They attack him again and he still doesn't fight back, shedding a single tear. He tells them goodbye, and as they attack once more, he turns them all to ashes with the snap of his fingers. Amazed by his power, Aaron walks over to him and asks if it's over. Out of nowhere, bursts out of the rubble and stares at Mar, calling him an ungrateful shit, and repeatedly slams him to ground. Aaron tries to stop him, but the commander blasts him back. Thinking he's fine, Aaron feels his heart begin to pound back and forth. Paralyzed, Aaron lays flat as the commander tells him he saw that form he took when fighting Mar and that he knew he was special, and now that he has him, he can fully control the world with an iron fist. Aaron struggles to get up while fighting back the transformation. The commander places a device on the back of neck, telling him if he won't do it willingly, he'd force him. The device begins to shock him repeatedly while the commander continues to beat on him. Sarah wakes to her brother's screams and looks over at Hope fighting off DED soldier. She gets helped to her feet by Mar, but she hits him, telling him that he has no right to touch her. Mar explains to her that he's not who she thinks and that he came here to help her, and others put an end to his father's wrath and sends out a sound wave that summons a herd of infected to ambush the HQ, attacking the soldiers and destroying all they saw. After Mar explains to Sarah that he's a clone, she hugs him and tells him that he may be a clone, but he's still her brother. They get surrounded, and she asks, does he remember the combo they use? With a smile, he exclaims, "Hell yay!" And Sarah uses the wind while Mar makes an energy field, and she swings him around, beating each and every soldier, saving Hope. While the infected flood the headquarters, they try and help Aaron, but it's too late. Aaron forcibly transformed into the same form from when he fought Mar. Aaron, now under the DED's control, he asks him to kill to the people in front of him. Without a thought, Aaron's powers generate an overwhelming force, cracking the ground around him, while the others can barely take the hit. Hope and Sarah try and reason with him, but he refuses to speak, only to glare at them. Ian and Mar try and restrain him. Without success, they get beaten badly. Aaron then walks towards Hope and Sarah with the ground cracking and shaking with each step. Sarah jumps in the front of and begs him to control himself and remember that he doesn't need to be a killer. Like the commander, Aaron punches her, but she still stands. She again begs him and begins to cry, trying to get him to remember who he is. Aaron stammers, saying he'll kill all of you, and tries to punch Sarah again, but gets blocked by Ian. He struggles to stop him, constantly telling him that it's not him and for him to use his common sense. Mar comes from behind to grab Aaron, telling Ian to hurry and do it, reluctant to hurt his brother, and attacks Aaron with a direct shot to his chest. Ian tells Mar that he's out of strength and that hit didn't do much. Infuriated, Aaron tears the ground beneath him, creating a geyser of dark energy, injuring the four of them. Struggling to breathe and coughing up blood, Hope stands up to reason once more with Aaron. She begins to cry and asks her father, he tells Aaron, to stop, and listens to what she says in tears. She asks him why she is using him to kill innocent people. Why does he hate people like her and her brother? With a nasty smile, he exclaims he wants pure world without diseased creatures like defected running the streets, and if it meant killing his own children to do so, then so be it. She falls to her knees in exhaustion and coughs up blood. Aaron walks over to her and prepares for the final blow. Hope looks up at Aaron and says, if this her last day, at least she'll die by the hand of the one she loves. She stands up and kisses Aaron, then passes out. Aaron stops the attack and looks at Hope's body. Angered, the commander tells him to kill her. Aaron begins to fight for control, screaming at seeing he hurt his friends. Ian tells him he can do it and to break the DED control. Aaron begins to fight for self-control, destroying everything around him. Mar screams his name in encouragement. The commander charges at Aaron, screaming he won't let him stop his plans.